Let's bring in Kevin Healy. He is an adjunct professor at Georgetown University Center for Latin American Studies, and he joins us live now from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for being with us on the program today, Professor. In what ways do you think this parallel market is threatening the livelihoods of the original coca producers?
Okay, the original coca producers are legal coca producers who produce for legal markets, and the main market center is in the city of La Paz, where you have a huge urban population and a lot of people who migrated from the countryside who use coca for cultural, social, and health reasons, and they're really not connected to cocaine. But then you have this other region in Bolivia called the Chapare, which is a tropical area. It's been opening up in the last 40 years, and the coca mostly from there has gone to the production of cocaine for international trafficking, international markets in Europe, in the United States, and so on. And so basically, the coca growers, the legal coca growers who have this legal area of production established by law, do not want to associate with the illegal coca, the bad coca. They want to just keep their good coca, and they don't want to be associated with a bad coca from the Chapare region, which has been headed by Evo Morales for many years. Even when he was president, he said he was the head of the coca growers union federations and so forth. So they've been empowered through his rule for many years and can really throw their weight around because they have the power of the state behind them. And so basically they like to move into the Yungas territory, which is in La Paz, which is a legal market, to be able to combine their coca with the legal coca, and that would improve the image of the Chapare coca, and new laws and so forth. They could argue that all that coca, legal coca, is together in La Paz, and it's not illegal and it would help their image in the Chapare, which is, again, growing coca for the international drug markets.
So if the market isn't strictly regulated, how likely is it that we're going to see an increase in the production of cocaine?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's really going to lead to a greater production of cocaine, because cocaine has already gone up very high levels right now, and it's topped out. But what we're going to see is trying to change the image of the coca from the Chapare into the coca of the Yungas to give it a more positive image, so it will get greater acceptance, and the government will have fewer challenges to its cocaine policies. And so they feel that if the consumers see more of it associated with La Paz, and then they can use that as a way to say, well, our coca is in La Paz and it's legal along with the Yungas coca, then they'll have a good defense when they're challenged because of the amount of cocaine and coca produced in the Chapare, in the tropical region.
Right, and if this plan does backfire on the government, what could the repercussions be? Say if we see the coca producers, the legal coca producers, go on strike or say protest for longer periods of time?
Well, it's hard to go for longer periods of time. There are a lot of street protests right now. There's riots. There's repressive actions by the police. They're trying to denigrate them, but fortunately, the media in Bolivia is very aware of what these struggles are all about. So they're more sympathetic to the legal coca growers than the government, which is trying to repress them right now. So I don't see things that this can be sustained for very long, but I think the government's going to have to concede that they're not going to be able to do this because there's too much resistance, and that causes too much disturbance in the city of La Paz. I think they can't impose a market like that by force. It's just too difficult. I mean, you've got 40,000 coca growers, some Yungas, who can come in and protest and so forth, and realize there's a lot at stake for them, their image, their sales, their legitimacy in the Bolivia economy and society.
All right, Professor, I have just about 40 seconds left with you. This dispute centers around who should control the market. Who do you think should control the market?
Well, the government's got to set down some regulations about markets. That's part of its role. And of course, this is a very controversial market and so forth. But the farmers and the coca growers have been using this market for decades, if not for centuries. And they've certainly got the legitimacy and the history behind them to be able to claim this market is theirs. And I think people feel comfortable with having a legal market for coca, the one legal market in Bolivia supplied by the Yungas cocaleros rather than the people in the tropics of Chapare.
All right, Professor Kevin Healy, thank you so much for joining us here on the NewsHour.